Greetings. I'm Johnny Pooh, Reverend John O'Toole. Some people call me Johnny Pooh. Don't get carried away. So I thought I did a little quickie YouTube video just playing around with my camera and shooting some video of my kitchen and how I cook things. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll do a show. So my first show was how much salt you're eating. Now, there's other shows I've done about salt, but that one was a little bit more aggressive. Now, when I designed my kitchen, the last thing in the world had to do with shooting video in it. I have kind of a horseshoe type of kitchen, and my sink overlooks a beautiful butterfly bush and a nice forest and possibly the sunrise when we do get a sunrise. And my location is kind of interesting, but yeah, I am surrounded with woods and nature and I love it. So my kitchen is designed for easeability, particularly for somebody who has difficulty moving around. So there's plenty of room. But there's not a lot of room for shooting video. And you watch things on the Food Network or other programs that show you cooking. They have a big island and they got all kinds of camera angles. Well, I'm kind of limited on my camera angles. So I'm going to do the best I can. I have this camera and I have one over the stove, and let's just see what we can do. So I want to introduce you a little bit about my little work area. Now I have different things. I have a big long shelf. I don't know if I can show you here, but we'll give it a try. So I have a long shelf over my kitchen sink where all the big pots and pans go and things, and important things like hot chocolate mix. And then I have a long rod that I hang all the things that I like to use all the time. Instead of having them in jars on the countertop, I hang them up on these hooks, and these are just shower hooks, shower curtain hooks, and they work quite well. As you can see up there in the corner, I have a tripod hanging over the stove. So this is my work area, and I have all kinds of things. Of course, we're going to be making eggs for breakfast today, and I have some ricotta cheese, which I'm going to explain, and I have olive oil. Now this is called Johnny's Mix. Now on the label it says Italian spice, but what it really is Johnny's spice, or Johnny's seasoning. And it basically is, I take all my ingredients except for salt and I add it in there and I create something I like. So what I have in here is that I have some basil, and I have some onions. In this bottle it says black pepper, but it's actually turmeric, and I add turmeric to my mix. I also put in some granulated garlic. Now I haven't put this in there yet, but next time the dill seed will go in there. And I also have black pepper. And I use that seasoning on all my meats, whether it's chicken or beef or pork or fish. And I don't need to use salt. When you watch someone on a cooking show, count make a mental count about how many times they add salt to a dish. And you'll notice that they do it a lot. And actually, also when you're counting, count in the additives or the ingredients that already contain salt, like cheese. Cheese has lots of salt. The better the cheese, the more salt. I love cheese. I've always loved cheese. The best cheese I like is the New York is cheddar, extra sharp, extra sharp, as sharp as you can get it. Hunter cheese from Cabot's. Yep. I love cheese. Now, if you're on a low sodium diet, you can love cheese from a distance, a far distance. Now, I've kind of searched high and low for a low sodium cheese. The closest I can get to is mozzarella or a Parmesan. But they don't really give you what you want in some cooking, like say scrambled eggs, for example, which I like to add cheese to. So I've tried the string cheese. Now, a string cheese has 180 milligrams of sodium per stick. And if you want a cheesy omelet, you're going to have to put more than one stick in there. You might put 3. Now you're up to what, 380? Just in salt for the cheese. And if you have a piece of bacon, which is about 150, 175, you're up there. You keep going up and up and up. And they're also your toast, and I'm not giving up my toast. So now I get a great bread online. Now I know I could buy it in the store. I could buy all kinds of things in the store, and we have some great bakeries in the Berkshires. But I found that there's a brand called Angelic, a bakery. It's in, I don't know, Minnesota, Minneapolis, somewhere over there. And they bake a sprouted grain. Now, it's nice for me that you don't really go to stores a lot, and you know why. I can order this online. They'll ship it here in a couple of days, and I'll put it in the freezer, and I take a loaf out as I go. Now, I have a raisin bread wheat that is wonderful. In fact, if you use it in French toast with maple syrup, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? Now, it's not the Wonder Bread type of raisin bread, but this is a really good raisin bread, and it tastes really good. The sugar is low, the sodium is low, the carbs are low. It's a sprouted grain, so it's healthier for you. Hey, what can you say? Can't get better than that. So this is what I do. Basically, I do olive oil for all my cooking. I've done sunflower oil also, but I really like the olive oil. It's healthy for you. It has a lot of health benefits. It will smoke. If you use it for a frying oil, it will smoke. If you need a frying oil, sunflower oil is better. Now, cold press. Always put your oil cold press it. If you can get it organic, great. But cold press means they're not going to use heat. And if they use heat when they're making the oil, it will destroy your enzymes, the healthy stuff in the oil. So stay away from vegetable oil, because vegetable oil is soybean oil. And soybean has some interactions into the body that may not be always positive. That's why they don't put soybean oil on the label. They put vegetable oil on the label. Plus, it could be combined with a bunch of other oils that aren't all that healthy. Corn oil. What do you have to do to corn to get oil out of corn? You think about that, So, another thing that I found to use, since I have a little bit problem with quantities. So I try to regulate my quantities as much as I can. I found this little gem on Amazon. Now, maybe you could find it in the store somewhere. It'd be great if it was a Romano cheese, because I really like Romano. But this gives me the ability to regulate how much Parmesan cheese I eat. Because when I'm shaking it out of that jar, it's a gray area about whether I'm having a little bit or a lot. So this gives me a chance to regulate it. I could keep it on the counter because my daughters yell at me for keeping a bottle of Parmesan cheese on my counter because it says, Dad, Dad, look, it's supposed to be refrigerated, Dad. So I could keep this on my counter. So that's just me. What can I say? So, now the other thing I have on my counter, and I might do a show about it, but I have Orvenbacher's popcorn. Now I might do a show, but I don't know if I can do it for 30 minutes. So when I cook my popcorn, I cook it in olive oil. I have a saucepan and I put olive oil in the pan and put it in my popcorn and I sit here and wait. I don't walk away. Microwave popcorn, you can walk away and come back. It'll be burnt to a crisp and it'll be the most unhealthiest thing you can eat in the world. Whether popcorn is healthy or not is a really gray area, but it serves as a use for me. So I sit here, I relax, I wait till it finishes popping, I stop it. Now, you know, the beauty of living somewhere near there's a dairy in your neighborhood is because you have the access to something like this. Now, let's see if I can line that up right. This isn't a commercial, by the way. So this is an unsponsored plug. And they have happy cows. Remember the happy cow commercials? Whatever happened to those? Are those cows no longer happy that they'll appear on TV anymore? So this is a lightly salted butter. This is probably the only salt I consume, except for the little salt that's in the bread. I'll put some of this on the popcorn, but I don't really need it. I'm actually getting to a point that I could probably go without the butter on the popcorn. It's a little hard to give up. But, so I'll use that butter, which I can get at their farm store, or you can get it at the grocery store. So, we're going to give a try on showing you how I make scrambled eggs. Now everybody, all right, I'll correct that. Most people successfully make scrambled eggs. I did meet somebody that can't make scrambled eggs, but we will not mention her name because she might be watching my videos. I might just have to cut this part out. Either that or she will remind me that I talked about her. But I'm going to show you making some scrambled eggs. And it's going to be my breakfast. And I hope you enjoy it. So I think I switched. I went off on a tangent. So I came up with this idea because I eat a very low sodium diet. I don't really make a big deal about things that are not low in salt. I really kind of like them. So I discovered, I don't know why, but I came up with this idea to try this ricotta cheese in my eggs. And I actually use it in some other things too. I might try some sour cream with hamburger mix to see if that takes out the acidic taste. But that'll be another show. So I've discovered that I could do ricotta cheese in scrambled eggs. And it is fluffy and it's cheesy and I don't miss the salt. Now if you are a salt lover, you're not going to like ricotta cheese in your eggs. You're going to want a nice piece of cheddar sharp cheese. But when you get down and start reducing your sodium, you might be missing to have that kind of cheesy taste. And that's what the ricotta does. It gives you the cheesy taste without the salt. Let me see what my glass is on. How much sodium is on the label. So for a quarter of a cup, there's 80 milligrams of sodium. That's pretty good. So that's going to put my breakfast at around 300 milligrams of sodium. That's darn good. Oh, if you're a fond watcher of my videos and you've watched some of my fairy speak videos when I do tarot card reading, my backdrop in some of my videos is this window and the butterflies flying at the flowers on that bush. Just throwing that out there. Just a shameless plug for another one of my videos. You might have to go look for it. So let's see what we can do about shooting some video over my... So sometimes I will add bacon bits to my scrambled eggs. Now bacon bits, the artificial ones, is 170 grams in 1 tablespoon. I think I'd rather have the real thing. But so sometimes they'll get added. Oops. That wasn't an easy one. I like to put a splash of water in my eggs. First I blend them, and then I splash some water in there and blend them again. So I'm going to add some olive oil in a large container and transfer them to my glass bottles. Because I'm cheap and thrifty. And not all of us can afford those $50 bottles of olive oil. I also put in some black pepper. Now this jar is labeled onions, but it really is black pepper because I like the feel of this glass jar. I'd rather have everything glass on my counter, but black pepper is great for the sinuses. Warm up our oil. Yeah, I put too much oil in there. I wasn't paying attention. So I put in a little bit of the ricotta. I'm going to use a separate spoon. Alright, I'm putting a little more than a little in. There we go. This is the bread that I like to use. Shameless, unsponsored plug. It's really good. They got some deals if you order over a certain amount. They'll do free shipping and they'll have it to you in a couple of days by airborne. Not airborne, by FedEx. We'll have it to you in a couple of days, which is just great. Take the toast, put that in. Well, it's bread, and it's got to become toast. And look at that. I didn't use so much oil. I should have used half as much oil as I did. But I was shooting a video at the same time and not paying attention. See that? I'm going to put some nice organic Island Farm butter. It's nothing like butter, but good butter, not the fake stuff. Do 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 do. Well, there you go. That's how I make a low sodium breakfast. Now, what would be nice would be a couple of slices of organic low sodium bacon, which I have some. But me being an insane lover of bacon, it's frozen. And I would have to probably make the whole batch, put it in a bag in the refrigerator, and not walk next to it for till the next day when it's breakfast time. A little trouble with the willpower on that. Now, most of the prepared, already cooked bacon are very high in sodium. That's where we're down to the bacon bits. And the bacon bits really don't taste like bacon. So, willpower over bacon powder. Everybody loves bacon. Well, at least I do. I like cheese doodles. No, I don't have cheese doodles in the house. I've tried different things on toppings for popcorn, but they're all high in sodium or high in sugar. So putting a little bit of Highland Farm butter on my popcorn is really a huge conceding. So you have to find out what works for you and what you can deal with. But whatever you can do to reduce your sodium intake is a great thing. If you need to do sodium for you're living in a hot climate in places around the world where it's very hot, maybe increasing your potassium is better than increasing the sodium. Now, most of the fruits and vegetables in the hotter climate, like bananas, are high in potassium. Breadfruit, which is kind of like our version in New England's version of butternut squash, but it grows on a tree. Go figure. Of course, tomatoes, are high in potassium. You're probably better off doing potassium than you are doing sodium, because sodium really takes a toll on the body. Sooner or later, it'll catch up to you. So, I want to eat my breakfast before it becomes stone cold. So until next time, happy, happy, happy. Happy, 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 happy.